Taste tests. Taste test is where we evaluate the taste of a food product, whether on its own or compared with other products. Some taste tests will be conducted blind, while others will focus on a particular brand or item.
This week's taste test is featuring coffee from Expedition Joe Coffee. Full disclosure, I know the guys over at Expedition Joe. As a matter of fact, if you go to their website, there's a photograph I took the day we met. We met on a mountain. We met in the Okanogan-Wenatchee National Forest near the Pacific Crest Trail. The memory is indelibly placed in my mind. I have certain bucket list images in my mind. Most of them, they require me being at the right place, at the right time, and knowing how to use my camera. Many of them could easily be done with some editing software. But my photography is like my overlanding. It's all about the journey. I don't just want the image, I want the story that goes with it. Anyway, I was headed down the mountain, and up ahead of me was a cowboy on the trail with his horse and a pack horse behind him. I couldn't believe it. I looked up, the sun was at the perfect angle to get a silhouette shot of him on his horse, and everything was perfect. Even him, he was dressed just how I always envisioned, and he looked like a real cowboy. And he was a real cowboy. So I politely told him that he held the fate of me getting this shot off of my bucket list. He graciously obliged, and that's my story. So, Expedition Joe is a small batch coffee roaster bringing you select grade premium coffee beans. Their goal is to create a superior cup of coffee that will revive and rejuvenate your spirits, whether you're at home or on the trail. They work with single origin and blended coffees. Whole bean or ground coffee is available. The available roasts are light, medium, medium dark, and dark. Now, I'm proud to say the photo I told you about on their website is where you also click to go to their adventures blog. This is where they track ongoing expeditions and adventures around the globe. They dedicate this part of their website to those people who step out and live their dreams and explore the incredible beauty and extreme terrains our planet has to offer. Even if you don't want any coffee, I suggest you go over there and get inspired. Well, I need a little inspiration, and I'm going to use this coffee to do it. So we're going to try these two, and in addition to trying the coffee, we're going to make some almond butter sandwiches with a little twist. You may have never heard of almond butter, so first we'll be introducing you to it. We'll be showing you two of the most popular brands, and we'll be showing you a not so normal sandwich that you've probably heard of before. So let's quit rambling and let's get started. All right, so I already started cutting up the bananas, and the first almond butter that we're going to use is the Justin's honey almond butter. This is probably the most famous, the most commonly known one. And what we're going to do is we're going to spread our butter on half of this. And we're going to grab our other butter, which is Barney's almond butter, smooth. And we're going to add it to this slice. So now we have two slices. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some royal figs. This is one of my favorites. I like figs, period. But this is one of my favorites. And we're going to add some to the other one. And now we're going to take our bananas. Generously add them to the sandwich. And then cut our sandwich. So this is our Barney's over here, and our Justin's here. So now we can start and try our coffee. Okay, so now we have our coffee made, and we have our almond butter sandwiches made. Here we have our Expedition Espresso, and here we have our Wrangler. So, again, full disclosure, I've had the Wrangler. I've had many of their coffees. Matter of fact, I'll get into that later about some of the other coffees that I've had, but I've had the Wrangler. I've never had the Espresso. So let's start with the Espresso. It's strong. That's the first thought that came to my mind. Not in a bad way, but this is definitely a pick-me-up. At least that's what it tastes like. It tastes like this has got some pep in its step, but I like it. And just so you know, last week I added just a little sugar and just a little cream and tried to make judgments about it. And that's not the way I drink my coffee. So I have more of a mixture of how I drink it, which is pure raw sugar, organic raw sugar. And for cream, I have, what do you call it? Vanilla cream. And I would definitely drink that. Now let's move on to the Wrangler. Well, before we go into the Wrangler, let's try the Barney's peanut butter. And don't forget, we got Justin's here and we got Barney's here. And they both have the figs. Again, this is something that I've had before. I don't think there's really anything special about this. The reason why I chose it is because I'm just trying to every week show you easy, quick little things that you can make when you're traveling. And it's not what you eat all the time. Maybe this is what you eat all the time, but I rarely see anybody making a peanut butter sandwich, let alone an almond butter sandwich, let alone an almond butter sandwich with fig preserves and bananas and taking the time to toast your bread. And all together, to make the sandwich, if you were only making one sandwich, it's a couple of minutes. The longest thing it takes to make is the toast, and that takes like a minute. You just, when I'm on the trail, I have one of these little metal, it's like a metal screen thing, and you lay it on top of your two burner, and you turn your fire down low, and it toasts your bread. And it takes like about a minute, depending upon how, I like mine kind of dark, so it takes a minute, but you can get a light toast in less than a minute. All right, I want to go to the Wrangler Reserve. Now, this is the one of the regular coffees that I've drank. And when I say regular, it's not like I drink it every week, but I have bought more than one bag of this and I like it. And because I already know how it tastes, I doctored this one up a little different. This one has the organic raw sugar, but instead of the creamer that I used before, I used chocolate. So it's almost like a hot cocoa. Now let me tell you about it. It's a dark roast, but don't let that fool you. It doesn't have like, usually when it says dark roast, that's a sign that it's gonna taste burnt, at least for me. When I hear dark, I hear it's gonna be burnt. It's gonna have that burnt flavor. Kind of like what people describe with Starbucks coffee. People who don't like Starbucks coffee generally describe it as a burnt taste. Now, to me, I am a Starbucks fan and I like that burnt taste and I like the taste here. Let's try the Justin's almond butter. Now, this isn't a fair comparison because the other one is just creamy almond butter. The Justin's is almond butter mixed with honey. So it's just totally unfair. And I know I like it better because I eat both of them. The Justin's with the honey almond butter, that's a regular in my pantry at home and away from home. Depending upon how long my trip is, like let's say I'm taking a trip from Washington to Maine, I'll just throw a whole jar in here. And it holds really well. I don't even have to put it in the refrigerator, but I do after I open it. But I don't really think you have to, because I've made the mistake of not doing that before. And the only thing is that the oils come up faster. They're gonna come up no matter what, but the oils come up a little faster and you have to stir it back up. It's not a big deal. I actually preferred it because it was softer and it was easier to turn, whereas when you take it out of the refrigerator, it's a lot harder to turn. Now, the choices that I made to have the almond butter with the preserves and the bananas, I've been doing something like that all my life. Everyone's probably heard of the famous sandwich that Elvis Presley used to like. He liked it toast with grape jelly, peanut butter, bananas, and I believe bacon. I might be wrong about the bacon, but when I make them, I put bacon. I don't remember if I added the bacon or he liked the bacon too. Anyway, some variation of this has always been around. The only difference I've added to it is I've updated the jelly with a preserve, a good delicious preserve. This is made in France. It's called Saint Dalfort. It's the first time I ever actually read the name, but I get this all the time, and it's delicious. You can actually, as you're digging in, you see all of the figs, so you know you're getting something good, and it tastes good. It doesn't taste like a bunch of manufactured sugar. Other than the bread, everything is healthy. Bananas, fruits, nuts. I would also use this coffee if I was gonna make an iced coffee, where I was gonna make a flavored iced coffee. Because this feels like shots of coffee. Now, I want to talk about the actual company. I already told you about, I took a photo and that's how I met them, and that's why I remember them and everything. But I had seen him before, but didn't realize it until I met him on the mountain. And then I started seeing him like at other events. I remember, I think later that year, I saw him at Overland Expo West and a few other places. So I met him, and then I started seeing him everywhere. And I didn't know that he had a coffee company till I saw him at the events. And found out that not only does he have coffee, but he focuses on providing coffee to Overlanders. Another popular coffee that he makes, and I cannot remember the name right now, but if you Google a gentleman called Primal Outdoors, if you on here, you probably already know who Primal Outdoors is. He has a YouTube channel. He lives in Oregon. He's living the van life now. He used to drive a truck. And he has 2 coffees. And one was named after each of his dogs. One of his dogs actually passed away just recently. So one of the coffees is kind of like a memorial coffee. I don't know if that's going to keep going or what. But anyway, I was getting those coffees pretty regularly. I haven't gotten one in a while, but I used to get bags of those pretty regularly. And Method Coffee has like a lot of different choices. So far, and I know all their coffees are not good, but so far, sorry about that. So far, I've been pretty lucky, and each one I've liked. So thumbs up to the company. Now let me actually rate these 2. If I was going to say which one I'd give to somebody, I don't know anything about them. I don't know if they're a coffee person or not, whether this is their first cup or what. I'd give them this one. This is the safe one. It's a bold flavor. It's a tasty coffee. It's a safe coffee. It's not trying to do anything special. It's just trying to be good coffee that you drink and get a good perk from. This one, I would give this coffee to someone who I know drinks coffee. And if they said, it was like, man, I'm trying to wake up, this is the one I'd give them, because I know this is going to give them a little pep. If you have good coffee that you like, I want you to go in the description in the comments and let me know what those coffees are, because I would like to try them. Maybe I have tried them before, but if I haven't, I would like to know about them and try them, because I'm a coffee guy. I drink coffee. So I would love to know about more coffees. Also, just so you know, I have a bunch of interviews that I've got just stored up. I'm going to start releasing them. But the point I'm getting to is one of them is an interview with the owner of Expedition Joe. And we won't just be talking about coffee. It won't be like one of those interviews where I'm just helping him hawk his coffee. Because on here, yeah, I'm going to be interviewing people who have products and stuff like that, but I'm more interested in figuring out if you're a nice person. So, you know, a person I want to give my money to and buy your stuff. That's kind of more important to me than anything else at this point in my life. So almost every interview, yeah, we'll cover that person's product. So if you're interested in knowing what they have to say about their product, yeah, we're going to do that. But that's not my focus. I could care less about that. I want to know about them. Do you overland? Do you cook? Do you make coffee? What kind of rig you got? What do you like to eat? What's your dream rig? What's your dream place to go? I want to talk about overlanding. So if it's anybody out there that's on my list and we've talked about doing an interview and you're not prepared to talk about yourself and sell yourself, you better cancel your interview with me. But so far, everybody I've interviewed so far is somebody that I know. So they went perfect. I knew they were good people and we had good conversations. I'm finished drinking all of this of the expedition. Now, I love a peanut butter sandwich, but if the reason why you haven't been making peanut butter sandwiches when you travel is because you're just like, that's too plain, that's too boring, try almond butter. Trust me, try almond butter. It will revive you. I love almond butter. And it's the doorway to other almond products. Because once you taste almonds in another form other than just eating an almond, you realize how good they are. And then you start trying other things. Like, I drink regular milk, but I also have almond milk at home because I like the almond milk on certain things over regular milk. It's a unique taste and it's a delicious taste. So I talked earlier about the photograph that I took. And it's a big deal to me, not because I think it's the most beautiful photo in the world or anything like that, but it's something creative that I had in my mind that I needed everything to fall into place. It wasn't something where I could just go in a studio and get on a computer and if I got the photo, there would be a story. Where I saw him, I can't think of the name of it, but when you're taking this mountain, there's a tower all the way at the top. It's like a watchtower or something like that. And I've been going there like 4 or 5 times a year. It's in the state of Washington. It's only a few hours for me to get there, so it's no big deal. This is just like a beautiful place to get away from everybody, take a quick trail, and go home. So it was highly unlikely in my mind that a bucket list photo of mine would be taken there. But when I saw him, I almost lost my mind. Because when you look at the photo, I mean, it's real obvious. He's got that square jaw. His hat is tilted right. He's got what do they call it, a Wrangler shirt. It's like, it's the shirt and it's got like the pockets like that. He had on the Wranglers and the boots. His horse was dressed perfectly. The pack horse, the bags were nice and puffy, like he was on a nice long trip. And he was just moseying along. And then I drove and I didn't want to scare his horses because he was riding his horses like right on the edge. Like they could have just took one step and fell off. I don't know why he was riding so close to the edge. But anyway, I pulled over and then I walked up to him because I didn't want to scare the horses. And we talked and he was like really cool. And he let me take his photo. And the point of me telling you that story is the story. It's the same as the journey. The journey is the story. Everything that you do as far as Overland, in my opinion, should be something to move the story along, move the journey along. Whether it be an event, whether it be a communication with someone you've never met before, whatever. But I just believe in trying to create stories. And when I say create, I don't mean faking it, but putting myself in the position so if it does happen, I'm there. And that was a very fulfilling situation for me. And I've had others. Well, okay, I was just checking something. Okay. So, we're done, everybody. All right, that's the end of the show. That's what I was trying to avoid. I was trying to avoid the clock. I couldn't do it. Sorry about that. Well, that wraps up another episode of the podcast. We'll see you next week. And I hope you like, I hope you share, I hope you subscribe. So with that, everyone stay safe. I want you to tread lightly. And hopefully I'll see you here or on the trail soon.
You have been listening to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Sponsored by Midland, communication for every adventure. The industry leader in radio communication technology and innovation for over 50 years.